You were scheduled for the War Games match, but obviously we didn't get to see you actually perform in one. But
Yeah.
you have been in the last two Royal Rumbles, and I mean it's wild to think. I mean, categorically different Royal Rumbles because of
Oh
the
yeah.
state that the world is in. How did they differ this year? Because I mean, obviously, I'm trying to poke around and find out everything I can about the Royal Rumble. It's my favorite event of the year.
Same.
But like I would hear people say that they were like, well, this year some of the surprise entrants we would see them walking around in the hallway the night before, and it's like,
Yeah.
whoa, but how was that different for you coming from NXT both years, from a stadium show to one without fans?
It still meant a lot to me for to be included in this year's one. Obviously, any of the girls included from NXT, and given they couldn't include as many just because of the circumstances with COVID and things like that, they had to keep it pretty uh, low key in terms of the number of girls they could use. But it still meant a lot to me just because the Royal Rumble is my favorite pay per view too, and growing up watching it, it was. I think it's just this weird thing when you're watching it, you're constantly getting excited, or like every few minutes a new entrant comes out. It's like this amazing match is filled with surprise and shock returns. But last year's one was crazy, and the entrance itself in that stadium, that was all I needed. I didn't care about the rest of whatever I was doing, because like I could have been in there for 1 second, it wouldn't have mattered, because the vibe of the live crowd, especially a big pay per view like that, took my breath away. And we, us NXT girls, also got to watch the men's match too later on that night, and none of us knew Edge was coming back. So we're just sitting up top, and it happens. Oh my god, like that moment was insane, and we were all like little kids again. It was cool.
It was so funny because when I would talk to wrestlers this year, they'd be like, well, yeah, of course we saw Christian running around backstage, but he's
I
there for stuff all the time. Like, not all the
Is he?
time, but he's there to do like digital stuff and to do shows.
Oh
And
right.
then he's in the match and people are like, well, you're in the match.
See, I didn't even see him, so it was still a surprise to me. So I think that's a benefit of being in NXT.
And to your point about constantly getting excited, I battled ADHD for most of my life, and it's hard to hyper focus on something, but when you have a new person coming out every minute and a half, it's like, oh, you have something else to divert your attention to, or to be excited about, or
Yeah,
to I think it's really perfect for a wrestling audience, and that's why it stood the test of time.
yeah, for sure.
As far as finding out you were in it, how did that differ this year? Because I heard varying things about that too.
Yeah, so last year, I'm pretty sure it was the day after Worlds Collide. So it was after mine and oh no, we didn't have the street fight there. Sorry, we had just a little promo, me and Tegan, in that show, and we all got told like after that. So it was very last minute. We were all rushed in the bus like to go get ready for it, and that was cool. That was super cool. This year we found out a few weeks prior, which was also cool. It was myself, Ember, Shotzi, and Rhea, and then Tony as well. We were all pulled into like Coach Bloom's office and told they really like sharing that information with us, because
Oh,
it's such
that's
a cool, exciting time, and us girls were super happy. And it's a nice little moment, like there were no cameras in there, nothing over the top, but it was just nice for him to deliver that news to us, and it felt special just because of the limitations and restrictions in which NXT is being used,
speaking of
like with Raw and SmackDown.